Welcome to the Apotheosis, a Starkid fancast dedicated to untangling the mysteries of Hatchetfield, one implication at a time.
I'm Mina.
And I'm Ramona.
Get your cup of poison coffee and let's begin.
Before this episode starts and we get into the implications, I just wanted to come on here and say that this episode was recorded before Nightmare Time Season 2 was announced. With the introduction of a new important character and more information, our thoughts and theories have changed and evolved a bit. With that being said, we will update and make a part 2 at a later date.
This episode will focus on the Lords in Black, how their powers work, what they want, and we'll probably touch on the sniggles too. But first, our Starkid Spotlight is on
John Madison. I looked at a lot of different websites, but I couldn't get a certain answer on when his birthday was, but I think he was born on sometime in July and is 35. He has an older sister named Stephanie, and he was born in North Carolina, but spent his childhood moving around to different places, such as Alaska, Pennsylvania, and Kansas. His dad used to be a colonel in the army. John is a founding member of Rediscover Theater and was in Hamlet as Hamlet with the group. He was also a performer at the Improv Olympic Theater and the Annoyance Theater. He has a Bachelor of General Studies from the University of Kansas in Theater and Film and is a graduate of Second City Musical Improv Conservatory. He knows how to fence and play piano and likes to write poetry and do yoga. He wrote a one-man show called John Madison, a solo show by John Madison. He co-hosts Rim Tim Timmy's Fun Time Hour with Jeff Blim. He has a Twitch where he posts gaming content. On Patreon, he posts songs, monologues, and nice messages and birthday wishes. He's been in Homecoming, The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, Black Friday, and Nightmare Time. His Hatchetfield roles are Paul Matthews, Wiggly, Ticket Taker, Usher, Tree Person, Villager, Gary Goldstein, Carl Mason, Wallace McNeil, and Northville Student. According to the Starkid Hatchetfield Wikipedia, his character's mortality rate is 21.43%.
That's amazing. All right, the stage is set. It's showtime. Let's begin. Okay, the Lords in Black. This is a big topic.
Yes.
This episode's probably gonna get kind of long. Who do we start with?
Okay, let's start with Pokey. What do we know about Pokey?
Pokey's trying to infect the people of Hatchetfield, and when he infects them, he's able to control them, and for some reason, when he's controlling them, he wants them to sing songs.
Right. He could be trying to build a better, simpler world, maybe, where like not everyone acts upon feelings and emotions, and their lives are just easier. But I don't know. He's not a good guy. He's a bad guy.
Yeah. That's what Higgins is talking about, right? In there, his justification for, I will lure them all here.
Yeah.
By pitching you my wonderful musical.
Yeah,
his whole
exactly.
Justification for that is this
It'll
aliens.
make their lives better.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in Be More Chill, kind of. You know that musical? Like with the squib?
I remember when you were really into it, I know a couple of them because you played them very often.
Yeah.
I refer to it as the Chill Pill musical still.
Well, in that musical, the squib is like a supercomputer, and once you take it, it like helps you to be cool, kind of, and then it slowly like infects your brain, and then the main character, Jeremy, he wants to like infect everyone to make their lives better, because that's what his squib is telling him to do. So that's sort of like how this show is going down, kind of like if that's what Pokey is intending to do by making people's lives easier and better. That's sort of like Be More Chill, kind of.
Yeah. If he's not trying to make their lives better, what is he trying to do? Why does he want this? He could want world domination for some reason. They could all want that.
It's like he's getting followers, maybe like Wiggly is, sort of.
He's trying to build the most perfect musical ever to exist.
Yeah.
He just can't stand any of the ones that have existed before.
He's gathering all his actors.
He's got to make his own.
Yeah, he is. I mean, I like Pokey so much, and I don't know why. It could be his character design.
He's very cute.
He's really cute. He's one of my favorite characters, probably just because of his character design.
That's the only thing we know about him. We technically haven't been confirmed that Pokotho did the guy who didn't like musicals.
It's heavily implied, but we don't know for sure. But I just think he's so cool. I want to know more about him. Like now, where's Nightmare Time Season 2? I hope he'll be in that. That would be cool.
Yeah.
What if they go off of, like, what life is like after everyone's infected? That would be cool.
That would be cool. I still feel like no one gets a life after, but...
Yeah, probably, but you never know.
You never know, that's right.
Yeah, they probably don't, but it would still be cool.
Yeah. Pokey kind of gets to Hatchetfield by way of a meteor, which is pretty odd considering how we've been introduced to the other Lords in Black.
Yeah, and is it, like, him, or is it, like, his spirit or something? Like,
I don't know,
coming down?
right? That could be another reason he's trying to infect people. He needs a portal just as much as Wiggly does.
Yeah. So you think he's, like, started in the black and white, and then maybe he sends the meteor down from that, or, like, he lives in space or something?
I don't know. Well, the black and white isn't the greater space.
Yeah.
Black and white is its own thing, and that is where the meteor comes from.
From what?
The black and white, right? It says that in the, like, trailer things for it, right? It doesn't say black and white. The first time we hear black and white is in Black Friday. You're right. But it does say it comes from a space beyond space, or something like that. I don't remember exactly. I haven't seen them in a while.
Yeah. Well, that sort of implies that it is black and white, which would be neat. And so that makes it seem like he has more power than Wiggly, since Wiggly isn't really able to do much in the black and white other than talk to people and have them make the dolls, but Pokey's able to send the meteor down. So, I don't know, maybe Pokey's just more powerful
How'd
than
the
Wiggly.
meteor even get out of the black?
That's a good question. Someone must have made the portal, I guess?
Yeah. And there's also the question of, there's something in Hatchetfield that made the meteor land there, probably.
Yes.
There's a reason why all of this craziness is happening to this one island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hatchetfield has been chosen for a reason, and to some extent Clivesdale, but mostly Hatchetfield. And that's, like, one of the biggest questions, I think.
I think something's in the Witchwood, probably.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of in there.
Like, it attracts strange and weird things, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Some kind of something that attracted the meteor to land there.
Or, like, something is calling to it or summoning it.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can think of would be summoning it would be, like, either Miss Holloway or Wiley, since they have I think they would have the powers to do that, maybe. At least we know Wiley can directly talk to at least Wiggly. So who knows, maybe he can talk to the other lords as well, and he's, like, works for all of them.
Mm-hmm. There are many different ways that Pokotho can infect you and take control of you.
Yes. He can infect you by, like, putting the blue goo in a drink, then you drink it or you eat it.
Ingesting it.
Mm-hmm. Ingesting it. Just by being around it and, like, breathing the same air, sort of.
There's a line about it having spores, or the meteor anyway.
So, like, close proximity ingestion.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another way that they can, like, infect / kill you is, I don't even know what to call it. It's where...
Murder.
Yeah, murder. Where McNamara is holding out his hand, and then he brings it to Ted's face, and it's got, like, the blue light on it, and then Ted gets infected. How do you think Bill got infected?
Well, yeah, he got shot, and then Paul runs away, and he is left with these 3 infectees.
Yeah, but would Bill have just gotten infected by close proximity, or, like, did him getting shot do something? So, Paul is special in some ways, since he clearly, like, battles with getting infected, and none of the others do. They sort of, like, just give into it, which is sort of odd. So, Paul is special in some way.
Yeah. A part of it is Paul himself he's not 100% sure what he wants himself.
Mm-hmm.
The other people know that he wants Emma, at least to some extent.
Yeah.
And he also says in Let It Out he wants to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
But wanting to be happy is a very vague thing that the Lords in Black, they can't go as deep in trying to break your soul down.
But I feel like happiness would be more important than just, like, dating or getting together with a girl who you like.
It is, but that one is a specific thing that if they promise him that, they'll be able to get him to join the Apotheosis. Pokey, like the other Lords in Black, his powers work on a what do you want sort of basis. He needs to know, or at least have a way to figure out what you want or desire.
And he can do that by infecting you.
Yeah. But, well, part of it is he infects you as a result of telling you you will get what you want. Like with Charlotte wants to be with Sam. She wants to be loved by someone. And
she just wants a good relationship.
She wants a good relationship.
Yeah. What about Ted? What does he want?
In the moment they do infect him, he wants to live. He wants to get away. But I think overall Ted's main want is to be with Jenny.
Yeah. But do you think Pokey's power can go that deep as to go, like,
No.
years back?
I don't think so, unless Ted is talking about this and thinking about it actively.
Oh.
But in the case of in the show, he's running away. He's like, oh my gosh, I've been saved.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I wanted. I'm the survivor. Everyone else is dead.
Yeah.
And then, so he thinks he's gotten what he wants, and then they infect him.
Yeah. And Higgins obviously wants his musical.
He does.
He wants his working boys. What about Sam?
I think Sam got infected by going to the Starlight, right? He probably got infected due to being in close proximity to the meteor. Because he had tickets to see Mamma Mia, right?
So sometimes they go after certain people's wants, and sometimes they just infect you in the moment?
I think so. Like earlier we listed the ways you can be infected.
Yeah.
So the most difficult one, but he puts into use, is the what do you want thing. Mm-hmm. But if people are stupid enough to be close to this meteor, they'll also get infected.
Yeah, that makes sense. Bill wants a good relationship with Alice.
Alice wants to be with Deb. She wants to have the freedom to grow up.
Mm-hmm. I
think those are the main ones.
There's Nora and Zoe.
Zoe, I don't remember. Yeah. I think it's Zoe goes with Sam to Mamma Mia.
Oh yeah, she does.
And so that's where she gets infected, and she's probably the one who brought the blue goo to Beanies.
Yeah, that's good. Now, let's get into what Emma wants. She's sort of the most complex, I think, in what she wants.
Okay.
Well, part of what she wants is to not die in Hatchetfield,
mm-hmm.
but that one's not very deep, I don't think. I feel like we talked about how their wants aren't super deep, like as deep as being happy, but I feel like not dying in Hatchetfield is sort of minor compared to what like her inner want is.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that is?
I think she really regrets not being with her family more.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if we, in all technicality, don't see her get infected.
Yeah, that's true. She fights it like Paul.
Yeah. What do you think it is? You seem to have an idea.
I mean, maybe she does just want to sort of not get in anything serious and be...
She wants to be a free spirit.
Yeah.
She wants to be able to go backpacking in Guatemala without consequences.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess that could work, but didn't we say before that he probably goes after what you're thinking about in the moment, and I doubt she's thinking about, like, backpacking or being free and not tied down while she's getting infected.
By the end of the show, she's not a very committal person, but she does want Paul, at the very least, as a friend. She's very excited when Mr. Bren Bridges comes out.
Yeah. She could just want to see that, like, to know that he's okay, know that she's not the only survivor.
Mm-hmm.
That could be it. Yeah, maybe that's just it, that she doesn't want to be completely alone and have to fight and survive on her own or something.
Yeah. Should we move on to our next Lord in Black? Wiggly is the first Lord in Black we're properly introduced to.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't infect people the same way. I guess the best word I can think of is, like, corruption.
Yeah,
he corrupts them into thinking that they need this toy for their children.
I think he and Pokey are more similar than, like, we think at first, since they're both infecting people in different ways, and, I don't know, I guess going after world domination or whatever they're both trying to do. I mean, Wiggly's trying to get out of the black and white, but beyond that, like, once he gets out of, like, black and white, maybe he wants world domination, and maybe that's what Pokey wants too. So I think they are similar in that way. I
think most of the people we're exposed to anyway, other than maybe Sherman, but most of the people we're exposed to who want a Wiggly doll think that this doll will get them what they want. Linda thinks it will make her children and family adore her. Tom thinks that it will make Tim love him more, and it'll cheer him up after what happened to Jane.
Yeah.
Once Wiggly kind of has a hold on you, he's using all these people to build a portal, because he needs out of the black and white. And
why do you think he's trying to get out of the black and white, other than just the sake of getting out? Like, do you think it's killing him in some way or something?
oh, I don't think so, because the black and white is kind of like where they're from, where they we don't have a lot of info on it, but I imagine it's where they were created and where they could have been created in Hatchetfield and then trapped there. That would have been interesting.
Yeah. Maybe someone's like forcing him out or something.
I don't think anyone's forcing him out, because when we see him in there during Made in America,
oh yeah, he's calm.
He's very calm, and he's excited to get out eventually, but there's nothing like, he's not like, I need to get out this very moment.
Yeah.
Help me now. He's not doing that.
Yeah. How do you think they, make the portal?
No idea. We can make guesses if you want.
Yeah, maybe it's not, like, a physical thing. Maybe it goes back to, like, what people want somehow. Like, if everyone is wanting this doll.
Oh, if everyone wants him out?
Yeah, so strong that they can sort of, like, will him out. Something like that.
Well, why can't he just come out of the one at Peep headquarters? It's not big enough, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of.
I think so. Maybe he doesn't know about that one?
Well, he knows about it because he knows about the one, the second portal, 2 doors, not one.
Yeah.
The second door. He knows that one exists because he somehow gets the bomb out goes through the one door and to go out of the other. Yeah,
that's right. Maybe he can only come out at a certain point, like a certain area in the town.
Yeah, he has to come out in Hatchet. Where is Peep in Hatchetfield?
Probably, right?
There's no way of knowing. I would say yes, definitely. Everything's in Hatchetfield, but in Black Friday we were briefly not in Hatchetfield when we were at the Oval Office, unless in this world that's also a part of Hatchetfield.
Yeah, that could go back into what I was saying before, like, if everyone wills him out enough, all those people, all that, like, collective mind are in that one spot willing him out, and then he can only come out in that one spot. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. I think part of it is, for some reason, he needs someone like Linda to help with this process somehow.
Why do you think Linda?
Why they chose Linda?
Yeah.
I think because her want is something they could twist easily. She's very...
Yeah, but surely there are other people who want to be adored or, like...
I think with the majority of people, it'd be more along the lines of they want to be in charge or they just want to be loved. Linda wants to be adored. That is her thing. And that's it's a bit stronger than the other similar feelings. And the other main characters we've had so far, she's got something that makes her special.
Yeah, she does. But I just don't know how they would physically be able to build the portal since they're just all normies. I mean, he could be...
normies.
Yeah, he could be, like, gifting them with this intense knowledge, but, I mean, they don't really have the tools to just build the portal in the mall or anything, I don't think.
Yeah, in Wiggle they say that they're building a Cyclopean gateway, which kind of gives us a little something about what this would look like. So, Cyclopean, when it's referring to, like, architecture, the way things work, is kind of just, it's built out of blocks that are irregular, or like stones that are different shapes. Like, it's not one object, and it's not made of a bunch of things that are exactly the same. But because we don't actually see the portal, we're not 100% sure what it looks like.
If it truly is, they're all willing him to be there, then they're all maybe willing him for different reasons, and then that's like the Cyclopean gateway, like the different building blocks, different shapes, different reasons why they want him to come. They're different ones for him being there.
I like that. Let's talk about how when Wiggly corrupts these people, some of them, their mental capacity is just kind of going downhill. It's deteriorating.
Yeah, it very much is. They aren't able to think sort of like they were, like, functioning adults, kind of. And all they can think about is just building the portal and worshipping their god, their Wiggly.
And Linda.
Yeah, and Linda. Yeah, because Wiggly probably, he does. He blocks out whatever else you were thinking about, and he infects you with his power, basically.
Okay, with Wiggly and Black Friday, we also have Uncle Wily
/ Wilbur-Cross.
That's right.
Yeah. And we will get into him more later.
But right now, we're just kind of going to talk vague.
Yeah.
So, he's kind of doing Wiggly's bidding. Mm-hmm. And we're not really sure why.
Well, he's the doll maker, right? Like, he makes them.
Does he actually make them, or does he distribute them? What factory decided, oh, this is a great idea to make these?
Yeah. That could have been some of Wiggly's early power, though, to corrupt them and make them distribute the doll to gather the other large amounts of people and followers and stuff. But yeah, Wily, he's doing that. He's kind of selling them. He's in the commercial to get people to start wanting to buy Wiggly.
We know that Uncle Wily is Wilbur-Cross because in The Witch in the Web, Joy Richter is credited as playing Wilbur-Cross when clearly it was Wily, who before we'd only known as Wily. We'd all kind of suspected that it was Wilbur-Cross. Yeah. McNamara's old mentor.
Mm-hmm. And he's the person who went sort of deranged in the black and white. He went in without his helmet, right? And that's why he went crazy.
I don't know if it specifies that or not. He just went in and came out differently.
Yeah. Something like that.
We'll definitely talk more about Wily next time in our next episode. But
we will.
We just want to do brief here because he is important.
He's really important.
With Wiggly, very first moments of Black Friday, we are introduced to the wonderful beings known as the Sniggles.
Yes. And the Sniggles are so strange because sometimes they seem like they're their own race of, like, creature or being, and other times they seem like they're actors, which they're sort of clearly stated as being actors in Watcher World. And they're called by the actual Starkey actors' names, which is very strange.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they just did that for fun. I think it's got a reason behind it. I definitely think it's got a reason behind it.
I love the Sniggles.
They're really cool.
We are dressed as Sniggles in our logo because we love them.
Yeah, the Sniggles are great, and I think we like them so much because they're just sort of odd and we don't know too much about them.
Well, in relation to Wiggly, we see them in the opening number, the Tickle Me Wiggly jingle, and also in Made in America. Yeah. In Tickle Me Wiggly jingle, they're just kind of helping to advertise this, making it appeal to children.
Yeah, but they're the same Sniggle, so somehow they were able to get to and from the black and white, or at least back to the black and white, which is really weird.
Wily also is able to move back and forth somehow without having his own, or maybe he does have his own portal.
Well, if he didn't, that sort of debunks my theory that the people are willing Wiggly to come so much because we never see them willing the Sniggles or anyone to go back into the black and white unless, well, maybe that doesn't work because the commercial is shot prior to the events of Black Friday.
Maybe Wily Wily's got magic skills.
Yeah.
He, maybe he's just got some kind of power that lets him to move in between both black and white and regular world times.
Yeah.
And maybe he can bring Sniggles with him. Or maybe the Sniggles have this power and Wily just is along for the Sniggles move Wily.
I doubt it, but yeah, it could be. Maybe.
We don't know anything really about Sniggles or Wily. They're all questionable.
Very mysterious.
Oh, we could talk about why there's two portals. So there's the one that Peep has, and then is it in Russia? Is that where?
Yeah, in Moscow.
In Moscow. Why Moscow? What's in there?
That's a good question. Why Moscow? Maybe they have a special connection to the black and white in Hatchetfield somehow. I mean, clearly they do by the portal, but like beyond that, I don't know.
So yeah, Moscow is, we don't know why it's there.
It's almost halfway across the globe, but not quite.
Halfway would be, not half, it'd be across.
So, I don't know. I don't know why Moscow.
Have anything else to say on Wiggly?
No, I think I'm pretty good for Wiggly.
I think I am too. For now, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll think of other things as soon as we stop recording.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, let's get into Blinky then.
Okay.
So, Blinky sort of inhabits Watcher World in the Hatchetfield, and he has the Sniggles too, and I don't think there's much of his servants to the extent that Wiggly's are. Like, they're still clearly his servants. I think they do his bidding, but not as much as Wiggly.
We meet them at Blinky's watch party. The Watcher World, what's it described as? Musical extravaganza? I don't know.
And they're putting on a play. Yeah, a musical, sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
So, we learn in Blinky Song that they're clearly not willing to be, like, his servants, sort of, because, I mean, maybe but they're scared of him. Like, they
I would
don't
argue,
wake him up, they say, and stuff.
Yeah. I'd argue Snoozletown proves that point more. But in regards to Blinky Song, they are being punished.
Yeah, definitely. And they say if you wake him up, you die. But
they're not going to eat for a week.
Yeah, but
he might just spill our guts.
Yeah, I think but we see him like walking around and moving though, but isn't that just the mascot?
Well, at first it's described as a Blinky mascot, and then near the end when Alice and Bill are having let's call it a final showdown.
Yeah.
When they're having that final showdown, it just says Blinky is on top of the gift shop.
If that is him, then we do see him awake and
not doll form, which is terrifying.
Yeah, that's really scary. But we don't see any Sniggles die. He could have saved them for later, but we don't
save them for later. No!
like a dessert after watching Bill and Alice try to kill each other.
No!
But we don't see him like immediately go after any Sniggles, and at least in the song I feel like he would, because they're scared of him, and I don't know. The song is weird because
I like the song.
It's just, yeah, it's a great song, but it's just weird because why are they singing the songs to children? And it's like they're warning them, kind of. You know, it doesn't seem like the organizers of the show would say, all right, you get to sing the song now about ways that you get to live. You know?
So, I was thinking about this before we started recording, and I eventually decided I wouldn't talk about it, but whatever. I'm going to say it now. I was thinking about the Sniggles in general. Is it like... we're kind of going back to Wiggly, but with these people who are their minds are going downhill.
They're deteriorating.
They're losing their own sense of self. Do they somehow get turned into these Sniggles?
Ooh.
Like, in Snoozletown, she's singing like she wants a life, or like she used to have one, and now she's stuck here. And there's actually a line that is said to her that is like... Blinky's not going to let you go until he's seen everything.
That's right, that's good.
But that implies that they can be let go.
Yeah. So you think people infected in Black Friday are turning into Sniggles, sort of?
I'm not 100. I don't think that is definitely what's happening, but I think that'd be an interesting if that was what was happening. We don't really have any evidence for this, but I was just trying to think, where are these Sniggles coming from? What is going on here? And that was the most realistic-ish. It's not really realistic. It's kind of horrifying. But the best thing I could think of.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. I don't know how well it works with them being called by, like, the real actors' names, you know?
Yeah.
But that is a great theory, and I really like that. I'll have to do more thinking about that. That's really good. Back to the Sniggles in Watcher World. I don't think that they want to be there because in what's the Snoozle Train song called?
Snoozletown.
Yeah, Snoozletown. She's Sniglet, right?
Yep, Sniglet.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be there. She wants to be, like, let go. And that kind of ties back into what I was saying about why are they being allowed to perform these songs for children, since breaking the fourth wall, kind of, since...
Well...
I mean, she could have... preyed upon by her once, and she says she wants to... Does she say she wants to, like, get married and start a family and escape? Something like that?
Essentially.
Yeah.
She says it with her own vocabulary, but yes. She essentially is saying that, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe all the lores just go after what you want in, like, each in their own different ways.
I think they do, yeah.
Yeah, which is neat, and that ties them all together. So, yeah. The Sniggles could be... like their own entity or race, or they could just be actors. Yeah, species. Or they could be actors. What evidence do we get to them being their own species?
The fact that they're in the black and white during Made in America, I think, is
And
the
they don't
biggest
die.
hint to that they're not, yeah.
Maybe some are, like, more infected than others or something.
Yeah, that would
Since
work.
Joey and Lauren still have their own names, but Sniggles Snigglots and Sniglet. They have special names.
Sniglet is addressed as Sniglet until she's checked on. They say,
right.
Angela, are you okay?
That's right, I forgot about that. Why do you think Blinky is targeting Bill and Alice directly and wants to make them, like, essentially kill each other?
He targets anyone who goes to his park, right?
Well, yeah, but not to the extent of Bill and Alice, I don't think. Since he's not targeting, like, Alice sees the couple kissing in line, he doesn't target them as much.
They've already been corrupted. Their eyes are purple.
Yeah, the purple eyes thing is very strange.
It's scary.
But, I don't know, he doesn't make them kill each other.
But yeah, you're right. I'm not sure if we have a great reason as to why they're being targeted specifically in that sense. But in a general way, he does anyone who goes there. It is they say it is an amusement park for not for your amusement,
for his amusement.
That's right.
Yeah. So, the people that haven't been infected had the purple eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there are people like the impatient mother and her child Erin, who it's not described whether or not they have purple eyes or not. We're not sure if they're being...
Maybe they're in the process of being infected.
I think corrupted or infected. Which word works better here?
I don't know if corrupted works as well in this sense, since corrupted sort of ties back into Wiggly, how he's... I think infected is better in this context.
Okay. But yeah, we're not sure if they've been infected.
Yeah. And I also... It's shown that Blinky has the power to sort of change what people perceive with... I mean, I don't think that Deb would, like, dance with another. She seems to really like Alice. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if Deb would, like, cheat on Alice. So I think Blinky, like, warps your reality, kind of.
Warps your perception.
Yeah, your perception of reality. And he makes Alice see things, like, on her phone that aren't happening, aren't really true. Like, maybe they were dancing close by, but they weren't, like, touching or something.
Yeah.
And don't we have another example of that? Like, of him warping people's reality?
Oh, when Bill is doing the strongman game, and he, for a split second, sees the hammer smashing Alice's face.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's another one.
And wasn't there something else, like, with Alice's phone breaking?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Maybe I'm thinking of Madame Iris fixing the phone.
Yeah. Is it a fixed phone, or is it a fake phone?
Well,
is it... That'd be scary if it's like she created this item and then Alice left the park with it.
Oh,
what's
and, like,
gonna happen
it keeps
now?
Track of her, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
With Blinky is Watch Your World. There's a lot to be said about Watch Your World. A big one, Drowsy Town Station. Drowsy Town is what kind of the people who live in the black and white refer to the black and white as.
Oh, yeah.
And, well, maybe we were talking about before, how is Wiley moving to and from? Maybe Drowsy Town Station. I think that's what they call it.
He could take the Snoozle train.
Yeah, that's how you get between the black and white and Hatchetfield.
Yeah, maybe it is.
But then, if that were the case, then Blinky and Wiggly would be working together. Which we don't have any reason to believe. I kind of feel like they're competing.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of tension between the brothers. I just feel like maybe they do all sort of go after the same things in one way or another, but I feel like they're all, like you said, competing for maybe world domination, taking over all the people, but I don't know. Something. I don't think that they get along very well. They never really talk about each other or anything. Except for when Wiggly mentions Bubby, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't mention any of his other brothers or anything.
Mm-hmm. Another similarity between Blinky and Wiggly is the doll is a physical object in Hatchetfield. And with the same thing, everybody wants one of these things.
Yeah.
Or they're telling everyone. Like, Alice doesn't actually want one, but they're being advertised as if everyone wants one.
Yeah.
Alice maybe doesn't want one because does she still count as a child?
Not... Well, to Bill she does, but not to the ticket taker.
Yeah, well...
So, probably not.
Yeah.
And she's 18, right, in this one?
Mm-hmm. But the other thing I was gonna say, is the obnoxious teen
Infected.
He's not described as having purple eyes, and he does not appear in the mirrors in the funhouse.
Mm.
So I kind of feel like he's not, but then how is he working there?
Yeah, I don't know, that's a good point. Do you have anything else to add?
I had a thing I wanted to say, but when we were talking about her phone earlier, so everything that goes wrong at Watcher World, none of it would have happened if Alice's pockets were bigger. If they just made women's pockets larger, her phone would have fit, it wouldn't have fallen, they would have gotten off of the coaster and just left.
Yeah, I've seen someone talk about that before, and you're absolutely right. Pockets are great. I always get so excited, like, when I find pockets in a dress or a skirt or something.
I hate fake pockets, the worst.
Pockets are awful.
It's just mean.
It is just mean. Like, what even is the point? Yeah, pockets are great.
I feel like we should say something more on Madame Iris, but I don't know if there's much to be said. She does also operate on a what do you want basis. She straight up asks Alice, what do you want? Do we think we'll see her again? Or is she just a park worker?
I think...
Carny, is that the word?
I think so. I think we'll probably see her again, though I don't know in what setting. I can't really see her as, like, a normie, you know? I feel like she's, like, maybe of a special entity. Mm-hmm. Like, she's her own species or something. Maybe she's along with the Sniggles, something like that. Do we have anything else to say about...
I don't think so.
Alright, let's move on to Tinky.
Tinky. I think Tinky is the most terrifying of them all.
I know, you hate Tinky.
I don't hate him. He's very scary. He's the most terrifying to me.
He is. He's a little weirdo. What does Tinky want?
Tinky, like Blinky, I think he just, like, wants to be entertained, right? He's using Ted as his plaything.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's other people in his box, too.
And Tinky seems to be the only one that acts alone. Like, all the other ones, maybe not to Pokey, but I think Tinky's, like, he doesn't get servants or really corrupts people in the same way that others do to, I don't know, he just acts differently than the other ones, since the other ones sort of corrupt people or infect them in the same way they go after what people want, but Tinky seems to just act alone. You're
talking about, like, how the others either have sniggles or the infected people to
Yeah, they've got, with. Like, servants of some sort.
Yeah, you're right. He is different in that sense. He does capture people and keep them for eternity, though, in his box. And
yeah, but he still does that, apparently acting alone. We never see any Sniggles.
We don't really, because we only got him in one of the Nightmare Time episodes. We don't have a lot of info on him. Like, with Tinky, we don't know how his box works very well.
I guess so far, we don't see any servants or of any kind.
Yeah, like, maybe he can let them out of the box, and then he can control it. Maybe they're Sniggles when they come out of the box.
I think he's the most evil out of all of them.
That's probably why he's scary to me.
Maybe the people that he traps into the bastard's box are, like, his servants. You know? Like, he's controlling them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how his box thing works. How does he get a hold of Ted? Recollection.
Okay. Well, Ted goes to the wedding, and then, like, he sees things changing, obviously. He sees, like, a different reality or universe or something where...
Timeline.
Yeah, different timeline where he ended up with Jenny. And then that all, like, shatters and falls apart, and then Tinky appears, and...
Forgot, important thing. So he's at the wedding.
Yeah.
And he sees the banner change, the balloons change.
Doesn't all the food, like, rot?
Oh, I don't know. I remember he, like... Tinky runs across the table, which is the most terrifying visualization
I love that visual.
For me after it's described. Great. This decaying goat costume person crawling across a table is the most terrifying
I just imagine, like, the little chunky doll, like, running with his little chubby legs just across the table.
It's not the doll, though.
I know.
It's scarier than the doll.
I know, but I always imagine the doll. And the doll is kind of like a cute, funny image. But yeah, if it was the actual goat guy, which it is, it would be awful. Very scary.
But so he's in this timeline where... he is with Jenny, and Jenny hands him a wedding present, and he unwraps it, and it is the box.
Yes.
and Paul shakes him or whatever, and he wakes up back at Paul and Emma's wedding. His box is described as where he keeps all of his toys, and his toys are people he has trapped. Could he have trapped anyone else in there?
Like anyone important character?
Yeah. Is there anyone who...
I was gonna say, like, maybe he trapped the people in the Witchwood, you know? Like, Casey and those people.
That would be really interesting.
I think he maybe got those people somehow. And those are, like, his past victims.
Well, with the idea of Tinky, he can kind of control time and timelines and stuff.
Yeah.
And we get characters who kind of aren't fitting in too well with modern times. We have Miss Holloway, who we will talk about deeply later, but she is real into the 80s.
I sort of think Higgins to some extent, too.
Yeah, I would, Part of Higgins's thing, though, is that he's an old guy, right?
Yeah, he's like in his 60s. He seems very in awe by the Alexa.
Yeah, and, well, I think at that point Alexa was pretty new.
Oh, was it?
Wasn't, like, brand new, but it was newish. But part of Higgins is he's just not really connected to the outside world. He kind of lives in his own space.
Yeah.
The other person I want to touch on is Ethan. He doesn't know how camera works. Oh. And also kind of his overall attire is just a little... It's something people would wear now, but it is a little bit... It looks like it's been worn for a while.
It's sort of 50s.
Yeah.
Kind of. Like, it reminds me of Grease, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say Lucy and her fiancé.
Something
about them just seems like very sort of 20s and old-fashioned to me. It could just be the British accents, but I feel like it's more than that. I was surprised when they mentioned their phones and stuff, because it just seemed like it was set in the past, like very far in the past, you know?
Mm-hmm. Charlotte's also pretty disconnected, but I don't think that's why. I don't think Tinky could possibly be why.
Yeah, I think she's just distracted by other things that she doesn't really have the time to, like, tune in to sort of what the new fashions are, or what is kind of happening.
When I rewatched it the other day, I am kind of wondering, is he connected? Does CCRP somehow have they been able to tap into Tinky or his powers somehow? How did they get this time machine to work without his powers anyway?
Yeah, great question.
At the very least. Because if it is Tinky's fault that his office is a time machine, then he's also connected to CCRP to some extent.
Yeah, CCRP, very strange, because, like, it clones people, it makes androids, it's a time machine. It's really weird.
Yes. Anything else on Tinky? Is there anything else to be said about his connection to Ted?
So, if the tree people were, like, Tinky's past victims, why do you think Ted got away, like, not got away, but, like, he got a different fate, you know? Like, he was destined to be the homeless man forever.
He didn't exactly get a different fate. When M-Droid killed him, it is described as he went into the box, and I think the box is described as a twisting and impossible maze or something like that. So he enters fully after he's been killed.
Yeah, that is true. But the tree people are, like, tied down to the tree, sort of, and then Ted is different.
Yeah, I think at the very least the original tree people were not because of Tinky, because of our original description, but I like, because there have clearly been people recently who were tree people, so maybe that's Tinky is why.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he didn't, and we just didn't see it, because he enters fully when he's killed, and maybe when he's fully in the box, he ends up in Nightmare Time.
Yeah.
But this is a very loose idea. We're not certain. We don't really have any solid evidence to point towards that. Yeah. But I like it.
He seems like the most powerful, I think, out of all of them, right? Since he can control time and space.
I agree, but I don't think he wants to do anything with it. I think he's just enjoying
goes after
himself.
Like individual people, not like as a group as the other lords do, which is, I don't know, it's strange.
It's scary.
Yeah, I would like to learn more about why he does that and why that's his certain style of, like, torture, basically.
Yeah. I think Wiggly's probably got more powers than we've seen. Yeah. Because I don't know, he just is kind of highlighted as a maybe the main one, I don't know. That could also just be because he's the only one we've been introduced to, and he's got his own doll that we can have and hold.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Yeah, I think we did Tinky.
Okay.
Alright, let's go into Nibbly. We find out in Waterworld that Alice is writing a play about vampires, and they all... Isn't like a couple who dies at the end?
Well, I don't know if it's about vampires, but whoever her main character's girlfriend is a vampire.
Yeah. And on the surface, it seems like Twilight, but I don't know. I don't think that... It could be Twilight, but I think maybe she's tuned in Nibbly somehow, and she's writing about him since... When I first watched the show, we talked about it, and one of my theories was that he is a vampire who bites you, and that is how he infects you. So maybe she's writing about that, and maybe she's like Hannah, like, where she has this knowledge from a different source, and she knows that Nibbly is a vampire somehow. And then maybe she writes the story of whatever Nibbly does. Like, maybe that's a Nerdy Prince Must Die, and that is, like, her play somehow. That could be it.
Cool. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about Nibbly, because we don't really know much about Nibbly at all.
We don't.
Nibblenephim,
Tonoi Karaxis, Blicklotep, Pokotho, and Wiggog Y'wrath. Very cool names. I love those names. They're so cool.
They're great.
Should we talk about Webby? Webby is the sister of the Five Lords in Black. And I think just the title, The Five Lords in Black, sort of implies that there's maybe the Five Ladies in White, and I think Webby could be one of those ladies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she doesn't have a good relationship with her brothers. They're
fighting.
Yes, they are fighting.
They're having a little sibling disagreement.
Yeah.
That's resulting in the death of many people.
Do you think they're fighting over good and evil, or because of, like, a different
I doubt it's as clear as that.
Yeah.
But they're fighting over something. I don't have any solid predictions about what's going on between them at this point, because
we don't really know much.
We've only seen Webby in Witch in the Web.
Yeah, in Witch in the Web.
And we've only really heard about her in 2. So...
Yeah, I don't trust Webby. You know, I feel like she's gonna...
talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like she's gonna turn out to be evil because she seems like such a good being. And that is the very obvious differences, like Black being the evil side of the Lords and White being, like, the good side of Webby and her sisters, maybe? Maybe the sisters are, like, just normal people.
If Webby has sisters, one of them better be Peanuts.
That would be cool. Didn't you say that Peanuts was a girl?
I think, yeah. Nick tweeted something about that, right?
Yeah, that would be funny. And Webby wants to help people, and the Lords want to, like, kill people and just be evil, kind of.
Well, Webby isn't exactly helping people. If she was really helping, she probably could have done more in either Black Friday or in The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals.
She's, like...
Scary Image is Hannah infected with Webby as well.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
Maybe she's, like, new with her powers and she doesn't quite know how to use them. Mm-hmm. And she has been betrayed by someone. I think maybe she says that she's been betrayed. Maybe she's talking about Hannah, like she and Hannah are having, like, a disconnect, kind of. Like, maybe that's just Hannah growing up, or something like that. And she doesn't really need Webby as much anymore. Maybe it's something like that.
Well, she does need Webby, because without Webby, she's stuck in nightmare time every time she falls asleep.
Yeah, but
I think,
like, she doesn't need her for an emotional support kind of thing, maybe?
Yeah, she doesn't need her in the same way as... Like, in Black Friday, she needs Webby as a friend, because she's having trouble connecting to other people.
Yeah.
But I think it's likely that as Hannah gets older and her mind develops more, she will get more powers. Like,
yeah.
So Webby is probably in this for the long haul. She's waiting for Hannah to be able to use Hannah's own powers as well as help Webby with whatever she's trying to do.
Yeah. I read online that each Lord in Black represents a modern fear, Wiggly's being capitalism and the mass buying of the dolls, and in Made in America, basically, he says, like, he talks about capitalism. Blinky represents surveillance and not really having much of a private life. Like, if you put your whole life on social media, basically, stuff like that. And Pokey is an emotional repression in, like, everyone is happy because they don't have to care about their problems anymore, sort of, like that. And Tinky's, I think, is sort of the most obvious, with just running out of time and, like, not having enough time to do things and wondering just where all, like, your life went, kind of like with Emma, you know? Like, she didn't go to the funeral or all the family events or anything. And then, I don't know, for Nibbly, since we don't know about him. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and I really wanted to include it. There you go.
I like that. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. I also want to add that one of the lines in, is it Join Us and Die? Where
I don't know what you're talking about, maybe.
Charlotte says, your own body is your front row seat.
Yep, that's Join Us and Die.
Yeah. So maybe Paul is not doing what, like, his body isn't doing what he's telling him to do, you know? Like, his brain is thinking, oh my god, what's happening? And his mouth is, like, singing to Emma and saying, like, during Inevitable, but maybe, like, his body is infected, that his brain being infected, kind of. Maybe that's true for all of them.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of Charlotte's description of what being infected is like, right? Because she's just been infected. She's explaining to these people, now we're going to infect you, and your body is your front row seat to this experience.
Yeah, but she doesn't say that, like, you are still having thoughts and feelings, but, you know, maybe they are, like, not necessarily feelings, but maybe thoughts in their heads.
Okay, I think that's all we've got, at least for now. I'm sure we'll have more later. To recap, we talked about the different Lords in Black. We started with Pokey, the ways you can be infected, what exactly he's trying to do. We talked about what's going on with the fact that there's a meteor, and we also talked about Wiggly, the ways he corrupts people, what he's trying to do. We talked a lot about the Sniggles as well, both Wiggly and Blinkies. We touched on Wily, but we'll get to Wily later. With Blinky, we talked, again, about the different ways he infected, how he did that to other people, and we talked kind of about Watcher World in general, the way it functions, why people go there, what's going on, all that good stuff. We also talked about Tinky, how his box works, what he's trying to do, and how absolutely horrifying he is. And Ramona talked about her theory for Nibbly's story being Alice's play.
Yeah.
We also touched on Webby, and
we touched on Webby a lot, and we will get way more in depth with Webby. We just wanted to sort of lay down our basic ideas. Thank you so much for joining the Apotheosis. Next episode, we'll be discussing Miss Holloway and Wilbur Cross / Uncle Wily, how they're connected, who they are, their background, and a lot of the symbolism in the shows that they're in.
Our doors are open, so don't be scared to contact us at the Apotheosis Podcast on Instagram, or email us at theapotheosispodcast@gmail.com. We hope you have a la-di-da-da day.